Today we're going to see Darcy and grab a coffee. How's the merch and tea collection going down here? Tell me a bit more about these teas, because this has turned into like a tea episode.
Well, these two are white teas.
Okay.
So you're like classic, I guess like, think of it like green teas, green, white teas.
Yep.
White, like the liquor will come out quite white for these ones. Raw and ripe pure. Ripe pure is fermented. Raw is just the type of tea. Normally just like processed and like roasted, like tea gets roasted. And then left to ferment first. Like think of it like a natural unwashed.
Yep.
If you want it, like they're not quite that, but they're like it's a close parallel to coffee.
We're talking coffee
The
terms.
difference is like black tea is black tea. You know, that's what everyone's used to. That's like closest you'll get to like an Earl Grey.
Yep.
Still, you know, Earl Grey's more flowers. This
How cute
is
is this?
a ripe pure. This is like the tiny version of this one.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Which I love. Like their design's great. I love this like pseudo
So good.
corporate for tea. You know, like the most.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Did you check the cooler?
Yeah.
We're just drinking the liter.
That one.
No, the honey. You want to try some?
So I just brought this one for James. Okay, well, I might have to buy some of these because these are sick. The
Yeah.
little curriculum one. Ruin your lovely little display.
Let's go. Well, thank you, Darcy, for having a coffee and talking about a million parts of tea with me. I'm gonna go deliver this to Alex.
Totally fine.
What, you got your pocket tea there. You got your son's little.
my other tea as well.
What do we got here?
There you go. Little mixed bag of teas.
All right, go see Darcy at Archer in Philly
That's the one.
for some good coffee.
Amazing.
See you, dude. See you, dude. Good times. Yeah, well, it's turned into a tea episode, so let's just embrace it. I think I definitely learned some stuff about tea today, so hopefully you did as well. So, I got a few more updates that I thought I would give. I might even just like stop the video here and throw this in. So yeah, a lot's been happening in my world lately, and I thought I would make sure that I keep you guys informed and bring you guys along, because I realize there's a lot of stuff I do that I don't really talk about, and I don't really have any reason for that. I don't really have a reason why I don't talk about it, other than I just think, you know, I don't want to talk about too much before it happens. And all that sort of stuff. But I also think that it's really cool to bring everyone along for the journey. So I want to start talking about things that I'm up to a little bit more to make sure that we can all come along. So there's a bunch of things that are happening at the moment. Firstly, we might be starting to plan the coffee festival again for this year. So we've been meaning to meet for a while for this, but Alex and I got sick a few times lately. And just times weren't working out to meet up with our little team. So hopefully we'll be getting back onto the planning for that. To be honest, I'm a bit stressed about it because the 2019 Coffee Festival was absolutely amazing, but events are never easy to organize, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of mental effort, and of course you want to do a really good job and you want to create something that'll actually make, a really good day for everyone in the Brisbane coffee community and beyond. So I put a lot of pressure on myself with that, and I think I wore a lot of hats last time. And I think I'm going to try and just, keep myself a little more present this time and make sure that I focus on what's really important to make sure that the experience is there for everyone involved, and just try and enjoy it a little bit more. But I also want to bring you guys along for it and to be able to see the ins and outs of that event planning, so that, it's not just a couple weeks out, there's a festival happening, you guys hear about it, come along, have a great time, that's it. I'd love to offer a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more behind the scenes on that sort of stuff. So stay tuned for the Coffee Festival. Nothing's happening just yet, but I think we're about to jump into festival planning mode, so it's going to be interesting. All right, next up, I want to talk about the podcast. Now, I mentioned this in my last update last week, but I just want to remind it again because it is very exciting, and I'm really stoked to have some cool people coming up on that. My plan for it going into this year, I'm going to call it season 2, is to have some more interviews. Of course, have some good fun with Joel as usual though, and just chat all things coffee and why we love it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of knowledge out there in our very close, community and beyond. There's so many people I've met along the last few years that I think would be just amazing to share their insights with you guys. And they have a really interesting take. And I just think the coffee industry has so much depth. It's really interesting to see where everyone fits into it and how they've found their place in the coffee industry, where they've come from, where they're going, how they're learning, how they're developing, and where they want to go, and how they've, sort of impacted the industry along the way. So there's amazing insights just in our small little bubble of Brisbane. But of course, with the internet, we can reach out and do interviews anywhere around the world. So I'm excited to jump into some more interviews for that. So that's the podcast. If you haven't already checked that out, just go on to any podcasting platform or even YouTube and just look up Shed Brewing. So that'll be easy to find, and it's a good time. We've got 7 episodes in the first season, and that is all about Joel and I's experience, getting into specialty coffee, how we've learned, and how we've developed and why we love it. Just kind of a feel-good little podcast. Each episode's about 30 minutes. We like to keep it short and tight so that you can, listen to it on the way to work, or, just squeeze it in wherever you want to. So check it out, Shed Brewing, on whatever podcast app you use. All right, so let's focus in now on the studio. So recently, it was about 3 months ago, Alex and I got a brand new studio. It's about 107 square meters. So it's a nice, rectangle. When we got it, it was a blank, empty canvas, completely just a square with a toilet at the back. That's pretty much it. The ceilings are 10 meters high. So heaps of ceiling space, feels really nice and roomy in there. But it's pretty much just a blank canvas. So a bit of background about Alex and I, we own a laser cutting business, which I can go more into in other episodes, but we've got that, and it's just a couple doors down. So our plan for the new space was to be able to have the computer staff from our laser cutting business called Vector Etch come over to occupy the back part of our new studio. And then in the front part, we wanted to run our own workshops. So Alex does laser cut acrylic jewelry workshops called Laser Unicorn. And that's kind of in direct partnership with the laser cutting business as well. So she wanted to run workshops there in the front section. And of course, we wanted to have coffee events there as well. So it's kind of been our dream for a little while to have an event space that we could use for our own stuff, whether it is creative events, whether it's, meetups and chats, whether it's just hanging out. I put a basketball hoop in there, so whether it's just shooting some hoops, or of course it's coffee events. So that's something that we've been kind of planning for a long time, and all the stars aligned on it, and it's happened now. So we've got a really nice little space, and we can open that up. It's got a big garage door as well, so that it can open up out of the car park, which allows for a few more people to be able to attend and kind of spread out nicely. And it's kind of we can do anything we want with it. So we're really excited to get into some more coffee events in the future for that. We've got a few partnerships that we're cooking up at the moment. I won't talk too much about them just yet, but stay tuned because there's some exciting stuff coming with that. But the biggest thing with that is that we're actually building a full-on coffee bench in that space. So it's going to be pretty much like a cafe, but without, having to actually have people there on the regular basis, turning it into an actual hospitality style thing. It's more of a test kitchen for the Brisbane coffee community to be able to come in, have some fun with that coffee area. treat it like a cafe. You know, you get the cafe experience essentially, but without it being, you know, having regular service and all that, and instead using it for events, using it for podcasts, using it for vlogs like this, using it to learn with others, and, you know, be able to bring some friends around, brew a couple of E60s and just chat, which is what we all love about coffee so much. So yeah, that is a big project. I've never had anything built like that. I've never had a commercial space myself where I could just go ahead and build anything in there that I wanted. So that is the latest project that's happening in the background. We've had some friends, Jared and Kristen, who are working closely with us to design it, which is really exciting. But I'm gonna have to do some actual vlogs all about that. So let me know what you guys wanna hear more about. And yeah, I appreciate all of you. And it's really exciting to just learn about more coffee together and keep having fun every day. I'll see you guys again soon. Appreciate you.